Venezuela, for at least the last 20, 25 years, has been an adversary of the US, first under Chavez and then under Chavez's successor, Maduro. And in fact, going back all the way to the 50s and 60s, Venezuela has been a problem case in Latin America, in America's so called sphere of influence. And so controlling the oil reserves is definitely part of the motivation, although I don't think the US can simply take over Venezuela's oil reserves. It can have an influence on the disposal of the reserves. But American oil companies will have a much bigger role now than they've had for the last 50 or 60 years. But I don't think they can take over Venezuela's oil reserves. America cannot just go in and take over another country's oil reserves. It is too simplistic to say that the US is about to take over the oil reserves of Venezuela. Remember that even after the successful invasion of Iraq, the US did not take over Iraq's oil reserves. So there's no question of taking over oil reserves altogether, but there'll probably be open bidding for oil. Venezuela has not been very successful in exploiting its existing oil reserves very well. And so American oil companies' involvement will improve the rate of production of oil from Venezuela and so should contribute to reducing global oil prices eventually once normalcy is restored and the oil begins to flow more efficiently with American oil companies getting involved in Venezuela as well. In the case of Iran, Iran was already not really producing much oil for the world market. It was facing sanctions, etc. But nonetheless, the invasion, the attacks on Iran had an impact on oil prices because the apprehension was that Iran's ability to supply oil to the world would be reduced greatly. In the Venezuelan case, from what we can tell so far, it's been a very surgical operation. The US appears to have arrested Maduro and his wife. Clinical regime change operation appears to be underway. So I don't think that there will be significant disruption to oil supplies from Venezuela as a result of this, unless the Venezuelan armed forces try to fight back very aggressively. I think there'll just be a fairly smooth regime change, given that in the last two elections in Venezuela, the opposition came very close to winning, and it probably would have won the elections had they not been rigged. So I think there is a fair amount of popular support for the opposition, and consequently, regime change will not be all that difficult to accomplish. So any disruption to oil supply is likely to be fairly short-lived. Over the medium term, over say a 2 or 3 month period, I think oil prices will come down as Venezuela's ability to supply oil to the world will probably go up in the medium term.